Guess who got the lead in the Falcon Players' new musical?
Certainly not. The hand-walking queer!
Bette Midler is more than just a singer, actress, and Broadway star. She's a force of nature. For decades, she has dazzled audiences with her powerful voice, unforgettable performances, and fearless personality. From her early days on Broadway to her legendary roles in Hollywood, she has proven time and again that talent and passion never fade. And just when fans thought they had seen it all, Bette stunned the world once again. She made a surprise return to Broadway, stepping onto the stage with the same energy and charisma that made her a star. And it wasn't just a performance, it was a statement. But what led to this unexpected return, and why did she choose to step back into the spotlight? Join us as we dive into the extraordinary life of Bette Midler, her biggest moments, her boldest choices, and how she surprised the world with her stunning return to Broadway at 79. A girl from Hawaii with big dreams. Bette Midler was born on December 1, 1945, in Honolulu, Hawaii. Her family lived in a neighborhood where most people were Asian, and Bette's family was one of the only Jewish families there. Her mother, Ruth, worked as a seamstress and took care of the house. Her father, Fred, worked as a painter at a U.S. Navy base. Sometimes he painted houses too. Both of her parents were originally from New Jersey, but they built a life in Hawaii. Bette's name actually came from the famous actress Bette Davis. But here's something funny. Bette Davis pronounced her name as Betty, while Bette Midler's name is pronounced like Bet. Even from a young age, Bette stood out. She was raised in a small town called Aiea, not far from Honolulu. In school, she was always the one talking the most, which earned her the title of Most Talkative at Radford High School in 1961. By the time she was a senior in 1963, her love for drama also got her voted Most Dramatic. After high school, Bette didn't waste time chasing her dreams. She went to the University of Hawaii at Manoa to study drama. But college wasn't really her thing, so she left after just 3 semesters. Instead of staying in Hawaii, she decided to bet on herself and her dreams. That's when a small job in a movie gave her the push she needed. In 1966, she worked as an extra in the film Hawaii, playing a seasick passenger named Miss David Buff. It wasn't a big role, but the money she earned helped her make a bold move. She packed her bags and headed to New York City in the summer of 1965. That fearless move to New York was just the beginning, a head start for Bette. Long before she lit up Broadway, Bette had already learned the value of hard work and determination. When she was only 13 years old, she got her first job working in a pineapple cannery. She once told People magazine, "I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, took the 5:30 bus to get to the cannery by 6 or 6:30, and you were done at 3. It was a tough job, but she didn't mind as long as her work got done. That work ethic followed her to New York. It didn't take long for her to start getting noticed. In the mid-60s, she landed roles off-Broadway. One of her first was Cinderella Revisited, followed by Miss Nefertiti Regrets. These small shows gave her the chance to prove her talent, and it worked. Just a year after moving to New York, Bette got her first big break. In 1966, she joined the original Broadway cast of Fiddler on the Roof, playing Zeitel. She stayed in that role until 1969, gaining experience and attention along the way. But Broadway wasn't her only stage. That same year, she also made her off-Broadway debut, playing Betty Lou in the musical Salvation. From a small-town girl working at a pineapple factory to standing on Broadway's biggest stage, Bette Midler's early years were anything but boring, and she was just getting started, chasing dreams from Hawaii to Broadway. Bette knew there was so much more waiting for her beyond Hawaii. With big dreams and fearless energy, she set her sights on the biggest stage of all, New York City. In New York, she joined HB's studio, where she studied theater with the famous UTA Hagen. That same year, Bette got her first real stage role in 2 off-Broadway plays, Miss Nefertiti Regrets and Cinderella Revisited. One was a fun show for kids, and the other was a bit more daring for adults. Then came her big break. In October 1966, Bette joined the Broadway cast of Fiddler on the Roof. At first, she played a smaller role, but by February 1967, she stepped into the role of Zeitel, the eldest daughter. She kept that role until 1970, proving her talent night after night. But even after Fiddler, Bette didn't stop. In 1969, she joined the original cast of Salvation, a unique musical that added to her growing reputation. Her name was starting to spread, but her next career move would take her far beyond the theater crowd. Her talent was undeniable, but she was ready to step into a world that would challenge and redefine her as a performer. Finding her voice in unexpected places. What came next was anything but ordinary. It was a gay bathhouse tucked inside the basement of the Ansonia Hotel. There, Bette performed bold, funny, and over-the-top routines. She became the Divine Miss M, a name that would stick with her forever. During these wild shows, she had a young pianist playing by her side, someone named Barry Manilow. Back then, no one knew who Barry was, but that would soon change. Barry even produced Bette's very first album later on. Bette once told The Advocate, "I was just outrageous," and audiences loved every second of it. Her wild humor, big voice, and fearless style made her a must-see act. People came back again and again, and her fan base grew bigger every week. Looking back in the late 1990s, Bette said, "Despite the way things turned out with the AIDS crisis, I'm still proud of those days. I feel like I was at the forefront of the gay liberation movement, and I hope I did my part to help it move forward." That time in her life shaped her career and her heart. Music, awards, and a famous bugle. Bette's time performing in the underground scene not only shaped her as an artist, but also helped her build a loyal fan base, and that raw energy carried over into her music, paving the way for her breakthrough success. With her unique style and powerful voice, Bette quickly gained attention, leading to her first Grammy Award for Best New Artist in 1973. The album featured hits like Do You Wanna Dance, Friends, and her iconic cover of Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, a song originally made famous by her idols, the Andrews Sisters. Bette once told Johnny Carson that she always wanted to move like the Andrews Sisters. And when Patty Andrews first heard Bette's version on the radio, she thought it was their old recording. When Bette performed in Los Angeles, Patty and Maxine Andrews came backstage. Bette's first words were, "What else did you record?" During another show, Maxine even came on stage to give Bette an honorary bugle. It was a sweet moment between generations of performers who knew how to entertain a crowd. Bette later recorded more songs made famous by the sisters, including In the Mood and Lullaby of Broadway. By 1979, Bette had conquered Broadway and music, but Hollywood was waiting. Rise to a movie star. She made her big screen debut that year in The Rose. It was a heartbreaking story about a rock star destroyed by fame, loosely based on the life of Janis Joplin. Bette poured her soul into the role and earned her first Oscar nomination for Best Actress. She won a Golden Globe for it, too. The movie's soundtrack was just as powerful, selling over 2 million copies in the US alone. The song The Rose became a massive hit, topping the adult contemporary chart for 5 weeks and reaching number 3 on the Hot 100. That same year, Bette tried her hand at disco with her album Thighs and Whispers, but it didn't catch on like her earlier records. Still, she wasn't done. She hit the road for a world tour, and her Pasadena show was filmed and released as Divine Madness. In the years that followed, Bette proved she wasn't just a singer or actress. She could do it all. From her comedy album Mud Will Be Flung Tonight to her voice work as Woody the Spoon on Vegetable Soup, her creativity had no limits. Even when her 1982 movie Jinxed flopped, Bette didn't back down. She focused on her music again, releasing No Frills in 1983. Speaking of which, did you know that in 1985 she stood alongside stars like Michael Jackson and Diana Ross to sing We Are the World? She showed the world her voice was not just for entertainment, it could inspire too. Bette's career was full of twists, surprises, and bold choices. And through it all, her voice, her humor, and her heart never faded. She wasn't just a performer, she was a force. No matter how much success she achieved, Bette never stopped reinventing herself. Just when people thought they had seen it all, she returned to the stage, proving once again that her star power was as strong as ever. Bette Midler's record-breaking return to Broadway. In 2017, Bette Midler stepped back onto the Broadway stage, and it was a moment her fans will never forget. She played the lead role in the famous musical Hello, Dolly, and people rushed to buy tickets the moment they went on sale. On that first day, the show sold over $9 million in tickets, more than any other show had ever sold on its first day in Broadway history. Fans knew they were getting something special. Critics couldn't stop praising Bette either. She brought humor, charm, and her one-of-a-kind personality to the role. All her hard work paid off when she won a Tony Award for her performance, her second Tony in her incredible career. Bette stayed with the show until January 2018, but that wasn't the end of her time with Hello, Dolly. In July 2018, she came back for the final 6 weeks of the production. This was planned to help the show end with a bang, and it worked. During her first run, Hello, Dolly made more than $2 million every week. That's a huge number for any show, and it happened with only 7 performances a week. Audiences couldn't get enough of Bette. When Bette left the show in early 2018, Bernadette Peters took over the role. Bernadette is a Broadway legend herself, but the numbers were different. After Bette left, the show still earned over $1 million a week. Impressive, but not as high as when Bette was leading the cast. For those final 6 weeks in 2018, Bette reunited with her original co-stars David Hyde Pierce and Gavin Creel. It felt like a celebration, bringing back the cast that made the revival so special. Critics and audiences both agreed that Bette's return was the perfect way to end such a successful run. But even while shining on Broadway, Bette kept busy with other projects. New project and ongoing success. In 2017, the same year Hello, Dolly opened, she also appeared in the film Freak Show, playing a character named Muv. It was another fun addition to her long list of movie roles. In 2019, Bette Midler returned to the Oscars stage, performing The Place Where Lost Things Go from Mary Poppins Returns. Her voice filled the room, reminding everyone why she's such a legend. That same year, she stepped into animation by voicing Grandmama in the Addams Family movie. The role was a perfect match for her playful style, and fans loved her so much that she returned for The Addams Family 2 in 2021. In 2020, she took on a powerful role in The Glorias, a film about activist Gloria Steinem. Bette played Bella Abzug, a key figure in the fight for women's rights, proving once again that she could take on serious roles just as easily as comedic ones. That year, she also made waves on TV by joining The Politician, first as a guest and then with a bigger role in Season 2. But did you know that Bette's creativity didn't stop with acting? She proves that she is a star who never stops shining. In 2020, she released a children's book, The Tale of the Mandarin Duck, inspired by a rare and colorful duck spotted in Central Park. Around the same time, she starred in the HBO special Coastal Elites, playing Miriam Nessler, a retired New York teacher with strong opinions about the world. In 2022, longtime fans got the news they had been waiting for. Bette returned as Winifred Sanderson in Hocus Pocus 2, almost 30 years after the original film. It was like stepping into a time machine, and Bette once again proved why she remains so beloved. Then in 2023, she kept the momentum going, starring in the comedy drama Sitting in Bars with Cake. Even after all these decades, she continues to take on new roles, keeping her career fresh and exciting. Bette's talent isn't just about singing or acting, it's about how she makes people feel. Whether on a Broadway stage, in a hit movie, or even in a smaller role, she brings her whole heart to every moment. And that's why audiences keep coming back year after year. Now, while Bette Midler has never been shy about sharing her opinions, sometimes her words have landed her in controversy. Over the years, she has faced backlash for comments on politics, gender, and race. While some admire her boldness, others believe she goes too far. Outspoken, unfiltered, and controversial, Bette. One of her biggest scandals happened in 2021, when she criticized West Virginia while attacking Senator Joe Manchin for blocking President Joe Biden's spending plan. In her frustration, she tweeted, "He wants us all to be just like his state, West Virginia. Poor, illiterate, and strung out." The response was immediate. Many accused her of looking down on hard-working Americans. Even Donald Trump Jr. slammed her, saying she was out of touch with regular people. The backlash forced Bette to apologize, tweeting, "To the good people of WVA, I apologize for my outburst, but for many, the damage was already done." One follower replied, "Apology not accepted. That's obviously what you think of us, or you wouldn't have said it in the first place." In 2022, Bette faced another wave of criticism over a tweet about women's rights. She wrote, "They don't call us women anymore. They call us birthing people or menstruators. Don't let them erase you." Some fans supported her, but others accused her of being anti-trans. She was labeled a TERF, trans-exclusionary radical feminist, a term also used against J.K. Rowling. Bette later defended herself, saying her post was inspired by a New York Times article and was not meant to exclude anyone. However, by then, the controversy had already spread. Bette's history of Twitter scandals goes even further. In 2018, she posted a tweet many found racist, writing, "Women are the N-word of the world." She later explained it was a quote from a John Lennon and Yoko Ono song, but critics weren't convinced. She also sparked outrage when she mocked black Trump supporters, sharing a photo of black men at a Trump rally and writing, "Look, there are African-American men in this shot. How much did he pay them to be background?" Actress Kirstie Alley called the tweet one of the most racist, degrading jokes she had ever seen. With backlash piling up, Bette quit Twitter, now called X, after Donald Trump defeated Kamala Harris in the election. Before the results, she had even posted a photo of champagne labeled "If Kamala Wins" and drain cleaner labeled "If Trump Wins." After Trump's victory, she deleted her account, stepping away from a platform where she had become one of its most divisive figures. Whether loved or criticized, one thing remains certain. Bette Midler has never been one to stay silent. Bette Midler's fortune and lavish lifestyle. Bette Midler has built an incredible career that spans music, film, television, and Broadway. With a net worth of $250 million, she is one of Hollywood's most successful entertainers. Her talent has earned her 3 Grammys, 3 Primetime Emmys, and 2 Tony Awards, proving she is a star in every sense of the word. Over the years, she has released 14 studio albums, selling over 30 million copies. Songs like "The Rose and Wind Beneath My Wings" have become timeless classics. Her acting career is just as impressive, with over 50 film credits, including hits like Beaches and The First Wives Club. Even younger fans know her from Netflix's The Politician, where she earned yet another Emmy nomination. But Bette's success isn't just seen in her awards. Her lavish lifestyle also tells the story of her massive fortune. For decades, she lived in a 7,000 square foot triplex apartment on Fifth Avenue in New York City. The penthouse, which she bought in 1996, featured 3,000 square feet of outdoor space and stunning views of the city. She and her husband, Martin von Hazelberg, spent 2 years remodeling it into a dream home. However, in 2019, Bette decided to sell the property, listing it for a staggering $50 million. While she has lived in the heart of New York, Bette also owns a massive Hawaiian retreat. In 1988, she purchased 38 acres of land on Kauai for just $1.5 million. She later expanded her island escape with an additional 58,000 square foot property nearby. These homes offer her a peaceful getaway, far from the Hollywood spotlight. From award-winning performances to luxury real estate, Bette Midler has mastered the art of success both on and off the stage. What's your favorite Bette Midler moment? Her music, movies, or her incredible Broadway comeback? Share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe for more such stories.